And we are live. Welcome to the Clydesdale Media Presents Meet the Athletes of the Semifinals. Before I get to my guest, I need to thank my sponsors. RX Smart Gear provides world-class jump rope scripts and other gear for us all. Use discount code Clydesdale15 for 15% off your order at rxsmartgear.com. Mobility Movement, MVMNT, is a program that teaches you how to increase your capacity to heal, reduce recovery time, and restore your nervous system to peak health. Everyone gets a 7-day free trial. After that, our listeners get an additional free month at mobilitymvmnt.com using the code Clydesdale Free Month. And finally, C4 Energy, delivering the most effective, best tasting, and highest quality products. Get 20% off when you use the code Clydesdale at checkout at C4energy.com. That's C4energy.com. And now I'd like to introduce Atlas Games semifinalist Damian Conciatori.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for jumping on with us, man.
Anytime.
Congratulations on making the semifinals.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
This is really your first semifinal appearance. You did do some sanctionals.
Once upon a sanctional, yeah.
Yeah, back in the day. How excited are you to get an opportunity to hit this level during the CrossFit season?
Honestly, I'm ecstatic. Like being from Montreal in front of the home crowd, have tons of family and friends coming. All the community at the gym. So it's words cannot explain. I'm just gonna try to eat up the energy, soak it all in, and hopefully the weekend doesn't pass too fast.
How big of a cheer squad is it going to be?
We're gonna be Sunday is probably gonna be 30 plus people. I'd like to say we're gonna be the loudest people there. That's for sure.
That's awesome. So then, how do you take that emotion and make sure that you don't go out too hot in events?
Oh, I'm gonna try to just trust my fitness and listen to myself and trust my training and try not to make a fool out of myself. It's gonna be hard for sure. You have to stay composed. I've got a chance to test some of these workouts. I know the Atlas just released 2 more events. I tried one this morning. I'm gonna try one again, the one they just released this afternoon. But it's just as long as I get one touch on it, see how the body feels, and then on the floor, I'm gonna play that line of like, okay, I'm gonna go hard, but still leave some in the tank.
Yeah, it's got to be almost like a dream come true to be able to do it right in your hometown.
It's because I had done a sanctional previously in Argentina, and the travel, the hotels, you're living in a hotel right now. You're just living in bags, traveling. It's like the home field advantage I have of like literally the complex is 20-minute drive from not even 15-minute drive. I swim there. So it's literally, I have the luxury of competing, having my friends and family, and then the luxury of sleeping in my own bed, in my own comfort. Don't have to deviate from food or anything like that. So I'm gonna try to take advantage of it.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
So you went to Argentina. You got to travel during the sanctional season. Do you like the structure of the season better now or when it was that sanctional type deal?
I mean, I only like the sanctional one better because it gives the athletes the option. It's not a one-off thing. So if an athlete gets sick or gets injured or has little nicks or, they have the option of like picking and choosing what they want to go to. So they have the freedom versus, okay, you're at this semifinal on this day. And if you're sick or if you're injured, well, tough luck. So I kind of like, and the traveling aspect, well, I honestly like going to new places. Argentina, somewhere I've never been before, so that was an amazing experience. But you gotta kind of pick and choose. This is the season now, and you just kind of roll with the punches.
Yeah, it's a shame there's not a way to have like the CrossFit season and an off season where you have all that opportunity,
No,
right?
for sure.
It's just where you have time to do both.
Mm,
I know that early on in your life you were a soccer player,
yeah.
and that actually afforded you some travel experience
Yes, it
because you played
did.
in Europe, right?
Yes, my high school year was kind of dabbling. What do I want to do in my life? Soccer was like a huge part of my life. I played since I was probably from 3 years old till about 2021, and that's when I transitioned into CrossFit. But yeah, I played a whole. I'd like to consider a summer, and then I ended up coming back and I ended up pursuing school here. But I took that experience. I played at a relatively high level here, not crazy pro, but at a provincial level. So
So you mentioned school. You're trying to do some athletic therapy.
yeah, I'm studying a health field. Yeah.
And I'm assuming that your sports background and CrossFit has been kind of the inspiration to go into this field.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. If I would have told you what I was studying before, you would you would die of laughter. I wanted to be an accountant. I wanted to suit and tie, and for people who know me, that's just not who I am. I love sports. I love being active. I was immersed in sports my whole life. I've played soccer, football, hockey, and I transitioned into CrossFit. And I think studying athletic therapy and studying, human anatomy, biomechanics, all the manual therapy, understanding how the body works, I think it only helped my longevity in the sport. I think I've been doing CrossFit for about 7 years. No real crazy injuries, and I'm slowly progressing and getting better as the years go on. So I guess you can hold the athletic therapy program a little kudos to them.
Yeah, I'm glad you discovered that early because I actually have a master's in business. I did, so many years at a desk, and now I'm doing what I love, which is
Well,
this, talking to
there you
people.
go. Exactly.
You know,
You
but I didn't until I was 49 to make the leap.
God bless. So there you go. I tell people it's never too late. Your 20s to 30s are meant for you to dabble and to gamble on yourself. So you're a testament. 49 years old. People think, oh, life's wrapped up at that age, but hey, you just proved everyone wrong.
Yeah. So I heard you on a podcast talking about when you stopped playing soccer, that you had a little bit of a dark time, and
Yeah.
that's what propelled me from doing that day in day out business job to doing
Mm,
what I love now. Is it took a dark time for me to realize what I really wanted in life
mm.
and what was really important in life. Can you describe what that was like for you?
Oof, that's those were yeah, I think I remember I used the term dark times, but they were just interesting times. You're a young kid. Well, I'm still relatively young, but I feel like I've matured. I was a young kid, 2021, and I was angry at life. You're just disappointed that this is life, and you play the pointing the fingers game. I hate my employer. I hate what I'm studying. I didn't like life. It was like life's fault that I was miserable, and once you take it upon yourself to like, okay, I'm going to take agency of my life. I'm going to be responsible for every single emotion, every single hand that I play. It's on me. Once you've accepted that, then the changes was super easy. But the change wasn't fast. It was a progressive. It was a lot of sleepless nights, just shit, do I quit this job? Do I change career? I have to restart? What are my parents going to think? What are my friends going to think? So it was a lot of like mental turbulence in the mind. But I came to it. I'm like, hey, I'm young. I have to do it now. When else am I? And you did it older, but I'm like, let me do it now, and then I'll be set for years to come. So that was kind of my mindset going into it and how my mind made up that decision.
Yeah, I had the same thoughts. Like I was blaming my employers, blaming all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then my father passed away. And then I realized
Just adds fuel to the fire. Yeah.
like life is short and
Oh,
you take advantage of
100%.
every opportunity. And to this day, like if I question myself, like if I see Matt Frazier walking and say, "Ooh, he's too big for me to talk to," no, the worst he's gonna say is no. Walk over and say hi, you know,
Exactly.
and just
You
go for it.
you never know when you put something out there how it's going to trickle back to you, who it's going to affect, who's going to see it, like the opportunities and just the people I've met through CrossFit. When I traveled, you meet people. Now you add them on Instagram. Now they invite you to their house. Like, you have no idea. The world is huge, but it becomes this small once you put yourself out there. So I'm a firm believer in just be kind, put good energy out there, and it's going to come back to you, so one way or shape or another. And if it takes 20, 30 years to come back, then so be it. That's the essence of life.
I apologize to our listeners and to Damian.
Oh,
I'm at a hotel and my Wi-Fi reset because I've been
oh.
here for 24 hours. We'll go through all the password stuff again. Uh,
Oh, you hear me?
I
We're
can
good.
now.
Perfect.
Yeah. So let's talk about Atlas Games. You've seen some of the workouts. How much have you been refreshing your phone over the last few days?
It's been, well, they kind of told us when they would release it. Yesterday there was an early release. They surprised us all with that event one, and I think they just released event two. So now we have four events. We have the lift, the rope climbs. I don't know if you saw them. There's
The lunge.
ski, parallel, and lunge, and then they just released a total bar, sandbag. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm more of a conditioning gymnastics athlete. I struggle with that top end strength. So yeah, I'm just gonna give it my all every single event, take one event at a time, and not carry too much expectation, but set some realistic goals throughout the weekend as the weekend goes on, and I roll with the punches, so to speak.
Yeah. And how much of them have you tested?
All of them. So I've
Mm.
tested variations of, except for the event two that just got released. I'll probably go back to the gym now and test it just to get some touches. But I tested event one today. I've been testing the clean complex for some time now, just progressively increasing my weight throughout the weeks. And the legless one is pretty self-explanatory. You run the workout once, and then you run some variations of some interval stuff just to keep the motor patterns and the running frequency on check. Because you're gonna that's just gonna be a hype event. It's gonna be 3, 2, 1, go. Guys are gonna sprint, climb that rope in 2, 3 pulls, and the goal is just to hold that pace. Because I don't think guys are gonna fail the legless rope climbs. It's going to be a running and speed, and how fast can you fall. You know, the difference between clamping and falling, or just free falling and getting on your rem. So that's going to be the difference. So I've been practicing that stuff, just some competition stuff, some competition skills.
Yeah, that legless has been crazy over the last couple of weeks.
No, I'm sure you've seen, yeah.
Got to see the 2 world records in each week.
And there you go.
The 245 week 1, the 233 week 2. Insane.
Wow. The energy in that stadium must have been epic.
So, have you watched any of the MAC or the syndicate?
Yeah, I've watched. I've usually try to watch at least the last heat, or maybe because even the guys like my level, just to see what they're up to, just to see what they hit. And I've watched even the Torian Pro. I've watched. I haven't checked out Lowlands that extensively, but these guys are fast on the rope climbs. They're sprinting down the field, jumping, 2-3 pulls, and then so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, crazy. What about in the Barbell Complex? Have you learned anything from watching any of that?
Actually, I have. The difference between because you're allowed to pause kind of from going from your shoulders to the hang. You can kind of pause it at your thigh and retouch versus going like that quick touch and go, and like risking like I don't want to risk a no rep and come off my shoulders and then not extend my hip and then get a no rep. So I've been just practicing like locking out, catching, touching, and just little things that you catch from the competitors going. Everyone has their own style, but some people just choose to go power. Some people squat clean. So I've played around with it. I've done different variations, and I'm banking on just adrenaline that event.
Yeah, and one thing I've noticed is some of the competitors have reached maybe the jump too high in that
Mm,
second lift,
mm.
um, and then they fail 2 and 3.
Yeah, I think Noah Olson he reverted back to his first lift. He missed
Yeah,
320 twice. And it kind of put him in a hole, but he's a veteran. I actually met him in Miami during Wadapalooza. I was in Miami with my friends, and he's a super cool guy. So he's a veteran. I'm not worried. He'll be ready for the games.
So, are you following any certain programming?
Yeah, I'm currently following the Deca Comp program from Michel
Okay.
Letang. Yeah, and I'll sprinkle in some stuff that I know I have to work on. I'll ask her for some feedback and whatnot, but the majority of my programming is that for I'd say this whole year has been Deca Comp. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
well-rounded, structured program.
and you kind of answered this question, but you get feedback directly from her, especially now
Yeah,
being a semifinal athlete.
yeah, she's cool. I have her on Instagram. We chat. She'll coach me through my lifts and stuff because I need to work on more of my top end strength and my explosive power. You know, those 30, 20, 10 workouts of just rip the band-aid and go. I'm more of an endurance and gymnasticy athlete, so been putting a lot of work on those sprint stuff and heavy barbell stuff. So
Is she going to be at the comp?
I would assume because she's probably gonna be with Vellner. So yeah, she's for sure gonna be there. And she's yeah, her gym is in Blainville, which is not far from Montreal. It's a bit far out. It's probably 30 minutes from the island of Montreal.
Okay. Yeah, because at the other comps, like all the big coaches have been there.
Yeah.
Um,
So
and not just working with like their top athletes, but with all of the semifinal athletes they have under their programming. It's been really cool to see how far the sport has come that in that direction.
no, for sure. Now there's these mini camps, it's gonna revert to that where there's gonna be kind of like these these schools or these camps where there's, you know, an array of different coaches. They present that they turn up to an event, they get coached in the masses. Maybe certain athletes get, you know, not special treatment, but, you know, catered towards their specific needs. And it's becoming, well, it already is a legit sport, but it's really narrowing down on the sports science and the recovery and all the fun stuff that we see in the textbooks.
Yeah, I think eventually it's going to be like Harry Potter. All the houses are going to like fight each other, right? For
That's a
points.
yeah, that's a cool analogy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Slytherin's going to beat Gryffindor, and then yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, Damien, this has been a blast. I want to wish you good luck next week.
Thank
Um,
you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for jumping on. I hope if you're available next weekend, we'd love to like get updates from you from the venue because we're not going to have anybody up there this year. Hopefully next
Oh,
year.
oh, 100%. I'll keep you guys posted on throughout the event. You know, as the events go by on a day to day. You know, I'll tell you how I felt during those two events, leading up into the next day, and for sure, 100%.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, man. Good luck next weekend and deload this week and get ready, man.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. We'll talk soon.
Take care. Bye bye.